So I'm just going to do this in a presentation fashion, right? And I would have loved to, I think if you go to question, there's two options. The first one says chat, so it's a random chat. You can just throw it in there. And if you got a question, or if you got a question, then drop it into the question and where it says Q&A, and then I will be able to jump there and respond to you. All right. So it is about a deal. It is about a deal, and this particular deal, I am in this deal. And as my presentation is coming up, let us go through that. I trust that you can see the presentation coming up on your side, and bingo, it is up. All right, give me some thumbs up if you can see my presentation. And right on the corner though, on the top, you'll still be able to see me lovely face. All right, awesome school. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. All right, so let us go ahead. Tonight is all about a deal that is available. There's a number of these deals that are available. But they've been going fast actually. So let's jump into it. So the opportunity, it's a 2-bed, 1-bath. 2-bed, 1-bath. You remember back in the days when I also started, I started off in a 2-bed, 1-bath. This particular deal here, it is out in an area called Bloemfontein. If you don't know where Bloemfontein, let's do some Google and find out where this is. It's a very small town. In Bloemfontein, we've had the luxury of many of the international sports clubs, or even not just the clubs alone, but the national teams. They've gone to kind of like reside in and around Bloemfontein for a match, that kind of thing, because of the temperatures that are very similar to some of the other countries out there. And also the facility at the Bloemfontein, the university that is out there, is also of a world class. Right. If we're just meeting for the first time, hey, that's me. I am TJ. I'm a father of 2. That's my 2 minions there. And I'm a husband to 1. And that is a recent picture that we took out when we were out and about. We went to see the king the day that we visited the UK, and we wanted to go and see the king. But there were just so many people, so they couldn't allow me to do that. But I want to say to you guys, I was able to do this because real estate allows me to do that. I get into deals, and as and when I get to deals, I get some passive income. And I want to stress, when I say passive income, there's always a little bit of work for you to do when you're doing deals, or when you're buying real estate. It's not as hard as if you are at the job, right? At your normal job, but there is work, and hence it is passive. It's passive compared to, right? So there you are. So I'm going to speak to this particular deal here. It is a block of flats, around about 51 units. And at my time of putting up this presentation, and not even putting up the presentation, when I sent out the email yesterday to you guys, I think most of you saw the email, or maybe you saw this on Facebook, wherever you saw this. When I sent this out, I had round about 27 units available. So of the 51, I was able to buy some, and we're still busy with the banks and so on. And I thought, let me also extend this. So there's a combination of round about 4 types of units here. There is 1 beds that are all gone, and there's smaller 2 beds that are all gone. And now there is the medium 2 beds that are now I am going to speak to you about. And then there's the 3 beds. The 3 beds, I'm not going to speak to you guys about it, because it's just 3 that are now left. So I'm going to speak to you guys about the available units that are there. At the time of doing this presentation, I think I did this presentation earlier on, around in the morning, around 10-ish or so. But in the day, some other units have already been gone. So someone else called and said, TJ, I'm in. They sent out their paperwork and stuff like that. So there's still some, but they're no longer 15. So when I was doing this presentation, around about 15 were available. So 51, that's the entire block. That's the one that you're seeing there. And round about plus minus 15 are left. We'll see right at the end. I did a quick check right now to see how many are still available. Now, it is a 2 beds, 1 bath. The picture that you're seeing there is a true reflection of what these properties is. The properties are currently a student accommodation. They're being run as a student accommodation, but as you can see from this picture here, that this picture, it depicts a property that's not being well run. You can see there, look at the beds, look at the floor, the tiling, and all of those things. We have an opportunity, if you're to buy a unit, the property already, the entire block is being run as a student accommodation. The entire block is accredited, which means that you don't need to go through accreditation. The opportunity that we've got with the 2 beds is that you can reno whilst you have, well, the first thing is that we need to buy, right? And then the second thing that we can do is that the units are quite spacious, which means that you can add a 3rd bed, which will mean that you're converting your 2 bed into a 3 bed. This is where the big opportunity is. And then thereafter, it's just about collecting your rent. All right. This is what some of the properties look like. You can see there, it's a little bit of a mess. Look at all of that. Look at the way the beds are. Look at the way the windows are. Look at the toilet itself. It's just a bit of a mess. So we have an opportunity here to upgrade this, and you'll see the numbers that I'm going to share with you that we've already factored in as a component of let us do some renovation on this property. Now, I'm going to assume that you are going to take a bond. It's an assumption. So I'm doing these numbers. I've worked out 2 scenarios. The first scenario is that I'm assuming that you are going to borrow some money on this 2 bed, 1 bath. And then the next scenario that we're going to be working on is we're assuming that you've got cash at hand, right? So let's go through working through the numbers on, you've got a bank loan on the property. 2 bed, 1 bath, that's what it looks like. A little bit colorful with the yellow trimmings and pretty spacious. You can buy this at 600,000, right? The available units that are left right now, they're a little bit bigger than the other 2 beds. These ones here, you're buying them at 600,000. On 600,000, you will need an additional 200,000, and you're going to make 18,500, which is going to be your income. Okay. How are you going to achieve that? You're going to have 5 students that are going to be in the in your unit, and these 5 students will share. So you're going to net profit round about 4,565. This is as of this year's numbers. Didn't work out including an increment for next year. I said, hey, next year we'll see that those increments. But this year, these are the numbers. This is what it looks like. So if we had to look at it here, it's literally a return on investment on your money on just above 20%, about 21 or something there. But let's just call it a 20% return on your money. This is the numbers. Summary of it, making sense. Like I did say, if you do have some questions, drop me some questions in the chat. I'll be able to answer those. I have gone on to further break this down so that we can have the discussion a little bit clearer. So your buying numbers, if you are going to be buying with a bond, and I've made an assumption that maybe the banks will give you 90%. So my friends, if the bank gives you 100%, it means that you're going to put in less cash. If the bank is going to give you 80%, it means that you need to include the 20% as your deposit. So it's cash at the end that you need. On 600,000, if the bank gives you 90%, it basically means that that bond is going to be at 540. You're going to need 60,000 deposit. That's cash. The 60,000 plus your transfer fees, which is going to be plus minus 40,000. Furniture, that's going to be another 38,000. And the renovation of the actual flat, we are pegging it at 85,000 to include the additional room that we spoke about and to make the unit a little bit prettier. And we are also going to include a newer kitchen. So we're going to include a newer kitchen because where the kitchen is right now, it doesn't make sense for optimizing the unit. So for that reason, you're going to have 3 units now, and on your 3 beds, and on your 3 beds, you'll be now able to collect 18,500. You can see at the bottom there. And basically, each student is paying 3,700. All right. Moving along, you still are on your, we're still talking about your buying. Now, you're going to see that on the top there now, I've now said total rent is now 15,000. So hold your horse before we get into why has it dropped. Now, on the previous slide, 18,500 is for 10 months. Student accommodation generally is about 10 months. So what I've done now is I've taken that 18,500 and I've annualized it, which means that I've included the other 2 months, because bearing in mind, you are going to have the cost for a bond, rates and taxes, levies on a monthly basis. So if we annualize it, it's going to become 15,000. When it becomes 15,000, now we are going to be talking to say, okay, great. How much money are we making? We're making 4,565 on a monthly basis. So this is on the assumption that you are going to borrow your 600, the bank is going to give you 90%, and the bank is also giving you around about a 12% or so. That's what I've worked on here. But if your bank is going to give you less interest rate, this bond fee here will be less. If your bank is going to give you 100%, again, all of those variables you can work on your own on your side. Does this make sense? And if there is any comments, I am happy to entertain those questions. Right, at the moment, I do not see any questions, which means that this is pretty clear. I'm going to go ahead. Right, I'm now assuming that the same property, we are now going to buy it cash, right? We are now going to buy it cash. The difference now is that there's no bank involved here. So how are we going to work around this? Well, the same property, we're buying it for 600,000, 2 bed, 1 bath. Now our bond and transfer 40,000, it will be slightly less, right? Because there's no bond, it's just a transfer fees, so that's going to be less. But I've just put it there at 40,000 for budgeting purposes, okay? Furniture will still be at 38. Conversion to a common area and the flat itself for the renovation, still the same numbers. So which basically means that for 1 unit, you need 808,000 Rand. So let's just call it 810. On your 810, you're going to be making 18,500. Again, this will now be for your 5 students, banking around about 3,700 on each student. So let's look at the return there. The return is going to be 14%, which is a good return. There's no bank at the moment that's giving you that much. And over and above that, there is no, you're getting a hard appreciation on your land, or should I say on your unit, which I haven't factored in here as yet. So as you can see, you're making a good cash flow of 9 grand on a monthly basis. But bearing in mind that, remember, these students do not pay on a monthly basis. For Bloemfontein, they will pay the first money that will come to your business or to yourself would be round about April, and then thereafter on a monthly basis for the next couple of months until the end of the year. Now, I'm going to say to you guys, at the moment, as I finished my work today, there was 13 units that's left, and basically unit number 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 7, and 9. Those are the units that are left at the moment. So if you're one of those people that are saying, TJ, I want to buy a unit, all you need to do is now to select one of those, right? And say, I'm in. If you're buying cash, then you indicate you're buying cash. If you're buying a bond, then we need to dance with the paperwork of that. All right. Now, how can you buy? It is very simple. The first thing that we need to do is that you need to sign an offer to purchase. And my friends, I am doing a first come, first serve. I remove a property on the list once you have signed your offer to purchase, and once there is a guarantee that has come through from your bank, either an approval in principle. If it is cash, if your cash is at the attorneys, that's when we are removing that. We remove your unit from the sale. So it's first come, first serve, and you're securing your guarantee. So the first thing is we need to sign your offer to purchase. And then the second thing is that we are charging a finder's fee of 45,000 per unit, and which basically means that the numbers that we spoke about previously, both on the cash and on the cash and on the bond, we will require you to pay a finder's fee of 45,000. The 45,000 will be split into two. The 15,000 once your offer to purchase have been accepted, and then the second one is that the remaining amount of money would be paid once your guarantees is in place before transfer. All right, so I'm working with a couple of sourcing agents that brought the building to me before I started buying my own units, and that these guys will they want a finder's fee, right? So this opportunity, we are calling it Bloom 2-bed 1-bath. If you are good to go on there, you qualify for R1 million, you qualify for, I don't know, and you've got some cash more than 200,000, or you can have access of the 200,000, and you're good, and you say, TJ, you want in. I know some of you are wanting to, maybe are thinking, are we allowed to go and view? Yes, you are allowed to go and view. However, it's a first come, first serve. The majority of people that have bought in this building are literally guys that are in different towns and different countries, and we haven't had a need to go and view it. But I'm not saying that we will not allow you to go and view it. We will allow you to go and view it if you want to. So if you're wanting to go and view the property, great. Put in your offer to purchase, and your number one condition is that you need to go and view the property. And we will then secure you date and time to go and view the property. Now, when you're going to receive a link soon after this session, and within that, just go through where it says at the meet the TJ tribe, and when that link comes through, please jump on to where it says look for property deals, And when you look for property deals, it will ask of you all of your details, your name, your surname, how much you qualify for, if you do know, and the opportunity, right? The first thing it will ask you is opportunity. Just type in there, Bloom, 2-bed, 1-bath, so that we know which deal you're talking about. All right. Now, over and above that, my friends, I do think that this is a good deal. It's a no-brainer. 600,000, you're in for 200K plus minus, and you're banking 5 grand. It's a good deal. So I am going to stop my my screen sharing, and I am going to go into comments to see whether there is any questions there. Some of you may have my office number. You're most welcome to send us a text. I am going to be working tomorrow for half the day so that I can be able to close this. So if you're in the deal and you want us to do your paperwork already tomorrow, I'm available. John is going to be available as well. We can process your paperwork tomorrow. We want this out of our way. The building is functioning already, so it's a no-brainer. If the building is functioning, or buying. Bearing in mind, this is not a partnership. I want to stress this out. This is not a partnership. We just so happen to own the building together. Not together. The building is sectionalized. So which means that you will get your own title deed. You will get your own rates and taxes. You will get your own levies. In a nutshell, we are in the same block of flats and I'm just your neighbor, right? So if you buy, let's say, number 27 and maybe I own number 25, that's what it basically means. I hope that makes sense. So it's not a partnership. You're buying the unit yourself and bingo, you can do whatever that you want in your unit. But we are buying the building and the body corporate, we are instituting that this is going to be a student accommodation. So you can't buy the property and then you want to live in it. Yep. But the body corporate, we're not going to allow that. It's an investment block of flat. If you don't want anymore, let's assume that you bought your property today, and let's say in 2 years' time you say, hey, I don't want this student accommodation. You can sell it like any other property. It's your property. You can sell it anytime that you want to. The likelihood is that people that are also sitting here, they may have an interest to buy. Like, for instance, I will have an interest to buy so that I can increase my units in the block of flats because my finances would have improved. Income from these units would have also been applicable to my business. So, which means that I'll also be able to buy. But if you are to buy, how do you exit? It's your unit. You can sell it. You can appoint any estate agent, and whoever the buyer just needs to conform. Yes, that's the right word. Just needs to abide and conform to the body corporate rules and regulations. Like you have body corporate rules wherever you stay or wherever you have visited. So this one here is going to be a body corporate for student accommodation. So whoever who's buying this, they're buying it for student accommodation. Okay, cool. Let me jump into the questions. Someone is asking, how long is the current agreement the building has with the university for student accommodation? Generally, it's year on year, and the current agreement is currently on 1 year. They just got it, or should I say it just got renewed. So it's basically it's going to run another 12 months. So the most universities, what they are now currently doing is that they give you year on year. However, if you do not get any complaint or complaints, you are good to go, right? However, if you're also having issues on your particular property there, they have the opportunity to remedy it with you. They will indicate to you, hey, we've got a complaint here, what's going on? And if you're not able to remedy that, they will pull the contract away from you or the accreditation. In some universities, we've also seen or started seeing that they've got different grading systems. So you might be a grade A, B, C, and A being like the Rolls Royce, so you drop. What does it mean to drop? It basically means that A could be 3,700 and B could be 3,300 and C could be 2,100. And so it goes. So basically they're trying to keep the standards high, which is great for us investors and for the services as well. I think so too. Another question here that come up, or well, it's a follow-up question that says, or rather, what is the chances that a unit may be vacant? Oh, okay. So a follow-up question is that what are the chances that a unit may be vacant? All the properties, or should I say all the units that are going to be in this building, they are all going to be managed with one student accommodation business. And basically, within the last 3 to 4 years, vacancy rate has been sitting at around about 3% or even less. So you do get dropouts, you do get death, you do get kids that change their program. Some of you have been to university, so you understand these things. Another question coming through. Hi, TJ, could you tell us more about how you go about insurance costs? Okay, like what percentage of gross income do you work with on student accommodation? Right. I want to put a disclaimer here. So I'm going to break the insurance into two. So the first insurance that I want to speak about is the home contents insurance. You are the landlord of the property. You are going to have furniture in your property. I'll advise all of you that when you buy a unit, you should have home contents insurance. What is home contents insurance? Home contents insurance is, let's assume this is a property, right? Now, home insurance is, not home insurance, home insurance content is anything that is falling off. Like you see now, the stuff that has come off here. This here is your house. So whatever that has come out, this here is home insurance content, right? Content inside the house. So if you turn the house upside down, everything that's going to fall out is home insurance. That's on you and the landlord. Then the body corporate is going to take an insurance on the entire building. It's now going to protect the entire infrastructure, right? So if we turn upside down the building, everything that is stuck on the property will still go through on the body corporate insurance. So things like the ceiling, the geysers, the plumbing, any of those things would follow under the body corporate insurance that will cover everybody. So as part of your levies, you will pay, as part of your levies, you pay, what am I saying? Yes, as part of your levies, in the levies would be a line for insurance. House content or home content insurance, it's not really expensive. You pay maybe a what? For 100 grand, like all of your things that we are talking about here, it's what? Round about plus minus 100,000, all of your furniture. So 100,000 insurance, maybe 100 rand even. So I hope I have answered that question. Tembi, I think that was Tembelenkosi. Tembelenkosini. Yeah, I got that right. I hope I pronounced that correctly. All right. Another question here is, how could could you tell us more about how you, okay, that was the insurance one. And then the other one, Carlo is asking the question, there's a management fee of 15%. I'd like to know if you are going to manage it, or is it another company? Is there an opportunity to negotiate the management fee? What does it entail? I do not manage properties. I always tell people it's not my business to manage properties, especially students. I don't like doing that. So the company that is going to be doing that is the company My Student House, and they do more than property management. I use them myself, and they do more than property management. So as and when you are going to have your unit or your units, as we know, the more you are going to have, you have the likelihood of having a negotiation power. But if you just have one unit, well, it might not be practical for you to negotiate. However, you can have that conversation with the property managers as and when you are good to meet up with them. Bearing in mind, if you're going to be an armchair investor and someone else is doing the work for you, and this is just from an investment perspective, a fellow investor, I do not chop off the hands that are feeding me. That's just me. But you're most welcome to negotiate where possible for you to get the best returns that you can. All right, my friends, you are going to get a WhatsApp with the link to where you can be able to update your, not update, let me know whether you're in, or drop me a WhatsApp. Are you in? For how many projects you're in? And then we can put you through the process of doing that. And then over and above that, you will also get an email, and the email will also give you the same link, and it will bring you into our system, and I can be able to chat with you a little bit more tomorrow. There's more detail that we would need from you. For instance, how you're going to buy, for instance, the vehicle that you're going to be using to buy, and all of those things. And if this is going to be your new property, you've never done this before, I urge you to do this in a company. If you do not speak to me and you're going to speak to one of my team members, I urge you to do this in a company so that you can reap the benefit of a small business and your tax is almost next to nothing. All right. Anyways, it is great hanging out with you guys. Thank you for accommodating me. Today we have superseded our time. I did say that the session was going to be an hour, and bingo, we are in 30 minutes. So thanks a lot. We'll chat with you again soon. God bless and good night.